Welcome back to another episode of Addicted to Quitting, where we are focusing on quitting habits that no longer serve us so we can elevate our health, our habits, and our happiness. I am your host, Gentry. I'm a divorced mom to 4 boys, a certified public accountant, and a certified life and recovery coach, here to teach you guys whatever I can about how to become a better version of yourself, as I am still on a journey trying to become the best version of myself. And on this journey, I recently was at a high school graduation. And as I'm sitting in the stands looking at these sweet little 18-year-olds with like fire in their eyes and their excitement for adulthood, I realized that this year I turned 36. And so turning 36 means I have lived 18 years under the care of my parents and a full 18 years under the care of myself. And these babies on that stage were just being born when I was sitting on that same stage 18 years ago. And I started to think about what I have learned over the last 18 years and what I would tell myself to the half version of myself at this point, right? If I could go back and look at the 18-year-old Gentry, what would I be saying to her about adulthood? What would my advice be? And I'm listening to these commencement speeches and I'm like, you know what? As much as I love the rah, like the world is your oyster and like follow your dreams and you've accomplished so much already and all these really, really positive motivational things, I realized that what I really needed was some true, hard facts about adulthood. And I think these two things that I want to share today are things that I think would really have impacted me, or things, they're lessons I've learned over the last 18 years. These two things, if I would have been a little bit more aware of these two things, instead of just getting sidetracked with the stars in my eyes and just seeing this huge dream ahead of me and not realizing the importance of taking care of these two things, I think that I would be running a smoother race. I still believe that you can always follow your dreams. I believe that anything is possible. I feel like if you want it, it is achievable. But how you get there is going to be different for everyone, right? So how you get there is going to be determined on how well you set yourself up for success. So I don't feel like by me not being more careful and aware of these two things that I want to talk about today, I set myself up for a marathon of rainy days, mud to get through, weight in my backpack, not the right running shoes. I couldn't afford the right running shoes, and I'm running the race. And I will keep running the race because life is a marathon. And I believe that I can get to that finish line and feel like I did succeed at things I said I was going to do, that I did accomplish my goals. But I think if I would have been more careful with these two things, I could be running this marathon with less weight on my shoulders. I could be running this marathon being a little bit more paying attention to the weather and the route and not getting off track and not getting off route and making sure that I can afford the right shoes and the right gear and set me up for success. I don't think that not listening to these two things, like I said, is means that you aren't able to accomplish your goals. I'm just saying that if you took care of these two things, you might be on a cleaner, easier path to get to the things that you actually want to accomplish. So would you guys like to hear the two things that I wish I would have been able to not just tell 18-year-old self, but really get her to understand it? So if you have a teenage kid right now, I encourage you to talk about these two things with them or even share this podcast with them, because these two things, and I even started talking to my kids about it as I'm realizing these things, but these two things, if I would have been more aware and more careful about these decisions, I would be a little bit farther along on my dreams. Again, I'm going to accomplish them. I don't think that because we make decisions that that make things a little bit more complicated or a little bit more off track or reroute us, or now I'm running through mud. It's not that we can't do it. It's just that it's going to take a little bit more work to get it done. And that's where I found myself because I didn't do these two things. So if you guys are ready, I didn't get asked to do a commencement speech, but if I were to get asked to do a commencement speech, this is what I would say. I would say that a good partner is better than a bad partner, but no partner is better than a bad partner. So it's better to not have a partner until you are ready to really lean into the right partner in life. And we're primal. At a commencement speech, I could be sitting here talking about the colleges that you choose and go to class and do your work and making sure you're choosing the right academics and all that stuff. But like primally, we are made to connect and procreate. We are made to partner up with somebody and procreate. And 80% of women actually become parents. So I can't tell you how many of you are going to actually finish college, or the percent of how many people are going to drink alcohol or not drink alcohol, or if you're going to have 3 kids or 5 kids, or if you're going to get married or not get married, or if you're going to be successful in business or not be successful, if you're going to be an entrepreneur or whatever. Like those percents aren't nearly as great as saying that there's an 8 out of 10 chance that you're going to become a parent. And so if 8 out of 10 chance that you're going to become a parent, you need to choose that right partner. The partner you choose to do life with and procreate with is the most critical decision you can make for your finances, for your mental health, for your growth, for your goals. Because if you find the right partner, not because somebody being a bad partner doesn't make them a bad person. But everybody lives their life a certain way, and you have certain goals, and a partner is going to give you a certain synergy. So like you plus them should equal 3. Like a good partnership is going to elevate you. You're going to be able to feed off of each other. You're going to be able to grow with one another, each other. You're going to each have your own strengths you can bring to the table. You're going to be able to complement one another. Like if you have a good, solid partnership, they are going to help you grow. Conversely, if you have a bad partnership, someone that you aren't in alignment with your goals, you aren't in alignment with how you want to live your life, you're not in alignment with what you find valuable, and they don't motivate you, they don't encourage you, they don't support you, that's going to actually bring you down. That's going to be mud on your track. That's not going to give you a nice surface to run on. That's going to be mud you're running through. That's going to make it harder for you to get to your goals. And so picking that partner is we primally want to pick a partner, but I am telling you to have the awareness to make sure you're picking the right partner. So be careful in college. Be safe in college. I don't think I need to elaborate on that, but be safe in those years, because somebody you choose to procreate with is going to be somebody that you are tied to for the rest of your life. And either that's going to be a good, positive, healthy relationship, or it's going to be something that slows you down on your journey. It's going to be mud on your path. It's going to be a reroute. It's going to be a rainy storm. It's going to add chaos and hardship and pain and financial stress that you could have avoided if you just brought a little bit more awareness about who you're choosing and have patience to find the right partner. Don't be so eager to be in love. Don't be so eager to find that partner, because being alone is better than having a bad partner. And be alone as long as you need to until you can really lean in and invest in finding that right partner for you. Lesson number 1, choose your partner wisely. We talk a lot about like career paths, I feel like at commencement speeches, or we talk about our dreams, or we talk about our friendships. And absolutely the friendships and the people that you have in your life are going to be extremely important, making sure you're surrounding yourself with people that are going to help you elevate. We talk about mindset, making sure that you're like ready for the world, you're ready to take it on, that you're ready to push yourself through hard times. But I've never, ever heard anyone talk about making sure you're picking that right life partner at a commencement speech. And I think that is the most important decision that you will make in your life. And that is going to be a huge factor in how successful you are or how quickly you are able to find success. How easy that marathon is for you to run if you make sure you pick that right partner. So lesson number 1, pick the right partner. Lesson number 2. Actually, I want to go back to lesson number 1 for a little bit, because lesson number 1, like I said, 8 out of 10 people will most likely become parents. And the average cost to raise a child in the United States right now, the average cost is $310,000 to raise one child. Approximately 50% of marriages are ending in divorce. 22% of children are being raised in a mother household only. So if you're one of those 8 out of 10 moms that is raising a child, that 22% of those children that are being raised, those 80% of that 80% are going to be raised on your own. Moms, pay attention. Pay attention to who you are procreating with. 38% of children being raised with unmarried parents were below the poverty line. You increase your chances to be more financially stressed, to be doing it alone, more load on your shoulders, more weight on your shoulders if you don't pick the right partner. So pick the right partner. Again, we can all still accomplish our dreams. I'm still on this race. I'm still going. And I picked 2 wrong partners. I got divorced, right? Like, I have baby daddies. 2. I have 2 baby daddies. I've been divorced, and I'm still on my race, but I'm doing it in conditions that aren't ideal. And I love my babies. I will continue to carry them as I'm trying to chase my dreams, and I will do it 1,000 times over. The race doesn't end. Your race doesn't end. It just makes it a little bit harder. And so you can avoid some of that by being really conscious and aware of that. Stay out of poverty. Stay with a supportive partner. Pick the right partner from the beginning. Okay? Have patience. Lesson number 2. I don't think that 18-year-olds are fully prepared for adulthood. And I don't think that you could fully prepare them for adulthood. Like, we don't teach them how to cook. We don't teach them how to clean. We don't teach them, which I understand that parents should be doing some of this, but we don't teach them about taxes. We don't teach them about bills, about how you need to go and transfer your power bill into your name so you can pay the bill. We don't teach them about how to make online payments. We don't teach them about how to make a budget. We don't teach them about the behind the scenes part of adulthood, like all the invisible work of adulthood, like just keeping a roof over your head and how much work it is, and it's completely invisible to the world because nobody knows that you paying your power bill until your power gets turned off, right? Like, it's just stuff that has to be done. And so there's not enough that I could teach you right now about taxes or housework or cooking or cleaning that could prepare you for adulthood. And on top of the fact that some of you are going to college, and some of you are going to the Air Force, or some of you are going places where you're going to have to learn trades too as well. So you're going to be learning the things that people will see, but you're also going to have to learn a ton of things that people won't see. And it's going to be stressful. And there's going to be times that it's going to be overwhelming. And there's going to be times that you don't know how to manage that stress. You don't know how to manage that overwhelm. And so the very first thing that you need to do as you step into adulthood is to learn healthy coping mechanisms when you're stressed, when you're overwhelmed, when you're scared, when you're going through those uncomfortable emotions. Practice healthy coping mechanisms. Practice healthy coping mechanisms. It's the most important thing that you could do because your health is number 1. 50% of people have used illicit drugs at least once in their life. So 50% of a graduating class has used drugs at least once in their life. And so much of the drug use, sure, sometimes it's experimental, but drugs provide a checkout. Alcohol provides a checkout. Overeating provides a checkout. Control over your food, so undereating provides a checkout. Gambling provides a checkout. Sex provides a checkout. So when we go into adulthood and we don't have parents managing our lives for us anymore, and we get thrown into all this and trying to figure it out on our own, we also get offered adult checkouts. We also get offered things that aren't healthy for us as a way to escape. But depending on who is around you and what they're using to check out, depending on society, excuse me, we live in a society that co-signs checking out in unhealthy ways. 1/3 of the people in the US are overweight. 178,000 people die from alcohol-related deaths a year. 106,000 people die from drugs. 10,000 people die from eating disorders. 500,000 people dying from poor eating, poor diet each year. 500,000 people. We allow unhealthy coping mechanisms as just a right of adulthood. And I struggled with alcoholism for over 10 years because it's just what people did when they're stressed out. Mommy needs wine. Let's celebrate with alcohol. We're stressed out. Let's just drink and not think about it. We're overwhelmed. Let's just go binge eat some food. We, as a society, have gotten far too comfortable with unhealthy coping mechanisms. And so lesson number 2 was, no matter what, do not sacrifice your health. No matter what, no matter how hard it is to try and figure it all out, no matter how overwhelmed you feel, no matter how alone you feel, no matter how scared you are, stressed, overwhelmed, sad, scared, mad, all the emotions, learn how to have healthy coping mechanisms. What are healthy coping mechanisms? Exercise, talking to a therapist, talking to a friend that you trust to give you valid feedback, having good people in your life, going for a walk, doing things that are going to continue to feed your body, your mind, your body, your soul, versus choosing things that provide you a checkout from your reality and then eventually having to step back into that reality. Because I think one of the biggest mistakes I made in my teens and 20s was using alcohol as my checkout when things got stressful, when things got overwhelming. And something I would hope for my kids, something I would hope for a graduating class this year, is that they can bring awareness. Again, like, we as humans, as beings, are instinctive. Like, we create these habits as a way to provide relief. And so be aware of that. Be aware of that so that you don't get in these bad hamster wheels of unhealthy habits, unhealthy routines, unhealthy coping mechanisms. And the more you can bring awareness to that as you're being tested with the stress and the anxiety and the overwhelm and all that stuff early, if you can get a hold of it now, again, it makes that marathon path so much smoother. It makes the ground you're running on a little bit more stable. It makes the tools that you have on your tool belt, the shoes that you're wearing, the clothes that you're running in, it makes them more efficient. It makes them a better fit for your journey. If you choose unhealthy coping mechanisms, you're choosing setbacks. You're choosing to be slowed down by weight, by alcohol, by the things that aren't going to actually continue to push you forward on your goals and continue to push you forward on that marathon race. Not that you can't get there. It's not that you can't get there. You can always get there. Your goals and dreams are never gone. They're never gone. I don't care if you have kids. I don't care if you're single. And I don't care if you have financial stress. I don't care what you have, the obstacles that you have on that marathon race. If it becomes one of those mouse traps where you're just constantly trying to escape the things, your goals are still reachable. You don't ever have to give up. But just know you're going to have a little bit harder path if you don't take care of your health and you choose poor partners. Choose poor partners in life, in business, in your careers, in your friendships, but especially in that partnership where you want to bring kids into this world. If I could go back and talk to 18-year-old Gentry, and not just talk to her, but could really get her to understand the value of those two things, I think 36-year-old Gentry would be in a very different place. I think 36-year-old Gentry wouldn't be feeling like she's living month to month. She wouldn't be raising kids alone. She wouldn't be in the mud as she's running her race. She wouldn't be in the mud with the weight of the world on her shoulders, the way she feels right now sometimes. Not that I would take anything back. I love my babies. So I hope this does not get taken wrong in any way, shape, or form. I would have 4 kids still. I would have all that. I mean, I know that like if things played out differently, they wouldn't have these kids, blah, blah, blah. I know all that. I understand that it happened the way it happened, and I have what I have, and I'm very, very grateful for my kids, and I absolutely love my kids. I would do anything for my kids. Don't even try to like second guess that at all. But you can still have 4 kids. You can still be a mom. You can still be all these things. Just be very aware of who you're partnering up with in life. Be very aware of how you're treating your body. And if you could understand that, if 18-year-old Gentry could have understood that, I could be running a marathon of life with my 4 kids in a lot smoother path. Unfortunately, I'm having to drag them through the mud with me as we try and figure this out. I wasn't asked to give a commencement speech, but if I was, those are the 2 things I would want a graduating class to know. Those are 2 things that I would want Gentry at 18 to know. Those are 2 things that I wish I would have brought more awareness to. And again, not that I would ever take my babies away. It's always hard to talk about like lessons learned, knowing that everything that has transpired got me to where I'm at, and I do have my babies, and I would never want to regret that. But I could be on a smoother path with those babies. I could be set up for success just a little bit better with those babies if I would have chose better partners, if I would have chose better coping mechanisms, if I would have taken care of my body and not been so rushed to fulfill that primal instinct to partner up. So that would be what I would encourage the graduating class now. Let me know if you guys think that this would be good advice. Share this with some teenagers and let me know what they think about this advice, if they think it'd be good advice. And I think like at the end of the day, like what I think the most important thing you should take away from this is that the marathon is being ran no matter what. The marathon is going to be run no matter what. Your goals are always still there. They're always still achievable. It just might mean you're going to have to work harder to get them if you don't do these 2 things well. It just might mean that you're going to have a few more reroutes. You're going to have more mud on your path. You're going to have rain. You're going to have weight in your backpack. You're going to have more obstacles. It might be more work, but the goal is still achievable. So even if you choose unhealthy coping mechanisms and you get overweight, or maybe you drink too much and you get in an unhealthy addiction habit behavior, or maybe you choose the wrong partner and it causes a lot of chaos and it costs you some money, those are just reroutes on your journey. Your goals are still there. Your dreams are still there and they're still achievable. So don't ever give up. I don't care how many obstacles get in your way. Don't ever give up. I'm just saying those are 2 obstacles that you can avoid. You can help yourself avoid, and it could help your path, your marathon race in life be a little bit smoother if you could just bring more awareness to those 2 things. Bring more awareness to the person that you choose to partner up with in life, and bring more awareness to how you treat your body when you're stressed, overwhelmed, going through uncomfortable emotions. If you can learn how to choose healthy coping mechanisms, if you can learn how to always take care of your body, you're going to have a smoother path on your journey. Thank you guys for listening to my 2 lessons I would tell a graduating class if I were asked to give a commencement speech. I appreciate you guys being here, and until we meet again, continue quitting those habits that no longer serve you. Much love to my favorite quitters.